Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gaming with me, Tony Mo. And I just wanted to do a little bit of an update today for you guys, talk about some things that are going to be happening with the channel in the future, give you a sort of idea of the way that my mind works in terms of how I create content here on the channel, and also ask you guys a few inquiries, a few questions for my benefit, just a little bit of feedback to get a general idea of some certain things that I've been very curious about, to say the least. But before I do any of that, I wanted to start by actually announcing something that I think you guys should definitely go check out. Now, the Praxis Gaming community that I helped start, we started a Praxis Gaming community YouTube channel, essentially a community YouTube channel that is non-profit, has no ads on it. It's run by myself as well as Starwolf, who you may be familiar with, and it's essentially there for us to just create content for the community, but at the same time that anyone can watch. And we've started a new show. We put our very first episode up, so it's still very early in the works. You know, we're pretty happy with the pace formula, but I imagine that as the future goes on, we're going to want to do more things with it. But I think it's pretty cool where it is. It's called the Cantina. It's essentially just a gaming-based show / podcast. The format right now starts off, we do a little bit of news. I'll bring a piece of news on. Starwolf will bring a piece of news on. For our very first episode, we talked about Destiny, because I'm very into that right now. And we also talked about Doom. That was Starwolf's picks, which was a very good pick. Very excited for the news Doom. Then halfway through the show, we actually bring on a guest to talk about a certain topic. This week, we talked about the release of the Gladius, a ship in the universe of Star Citizen. And we brought on one of our community members, Human Evil. And then we sort of close out the show with a little bit of an update for everybody in the community. Again, even if you're not a member of the Praxis Gaming community, I think this is a pretty cool show we're doing, and I definitely would like to share it with you guys. So I'll have that linked in the description below if you want to head over there, check the video out. If you like it, you know, maybe click subscribe, hang around, check out what the channel has to see. And of course, if you want to give us any feedback on the show, you can feel free to do so over there in the comments section. But please check that out. Really cool what we're doing with that, and I can only imagine it's going to get better as we move into the future. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on here on this channel. Now, the biggest thing that I wanted to sort of mention was my focus on Destiny going forward. I wanted to make this clear to people that Destiny is going to be a hardcore mainstay on my channel. Now, there's only about 2 other games right now that are in that position, I would say, that are heavily, you know, going to be here for the long run. That's Arma 3, which you guys know I'm constantly making Arma content. Mostly, the focus for me is on Zeus tutorials, because Zeus is something that I spend a lot of time doing. I don't spend too much time actually playing the game these days. I'm usually just Zeusing, coming up with new ideas, and I actually have a very interesting campaign that we're going to be running for our organization that I would like to try and get footage of, even if it's not as Zeus, or even if it is as Zeus. But I definitely would like to share that with you guys, because I'm very proud of some of the ideas I have for that. Regardless though, Arma 3, it's around. I know a lot of people enjoy it. I enjoy making those tutorials and those videos. The same thing goes for Star Citizen. Of course, you don't see much Star Citizen on the channel these days simply because there's not really a game to play currently. Once the game is sort of there and, you know, we can play it, when I finally get access to the multiplayer, of course, I'll definitely be covering to that. We're pretty much just waiting on the next patch, I believe, which is, it's been getting delayed. They're trying to do their best as they can with it. It's early alpha development, you know, what do you expect? But essentially, that's one of the reasons you're not really seeing it here on the channel. So those have been like the 2 big ones. Destiny is going to be added to that fray. It's already up. You guys are seeing beta content. I plan on covering the beta as we go through the beta to the 27th, to the end of the beta. We'll be seeing some Xbox One footage. Mostly I'm going to be talking a little bit more about the PvP. I'm going to give you guys a few more of my thoughts, some more detailed breakdowns of things like the strike missions, the exploration mode, and what we've just sort of got a taste of for the story mode. There's certain things that I can really talk about in detail because we pretty much saw how they're going to work in the beta, and there are certain things like story that, you know, there's not really much to say about that. We've only seen a really small chunk of it. But you can definitely plan on seeing more Destiny coverage. And of course, when the game releases in September, I'll be playing a lot of it then. I'm going to be doing a lot of detailed, heavy breakdowns for the PvP. That's something I'm really interested in. We'll probably be doing lots of walkthroughs, sort of Let's Play style commentaries over the story. I think that's something that could be enjoyable. It's not something I usually do, just sort of the standard Let's Play. Let's, you know, commentate on the game and play it. But maybe I'll spend more time streaming that than actually doing videos for that. I really don't know, but expect Destiny to be something that's here on the channel. I always just like to let people know when something's going to stick around, because I know a lot of you guys are here for like one specific game for the most part, and then there are a lot of you who are here to see a little bit of everything, and that's fine. You know, whatever reason you came to my channel, I appreciate that. I hope I keep on making content that you enjoy. And at the end of the day, for me, it was always about, okay, this person's here because of Star Citizen, but can I ensure that my content is good enough, that it's entertaining enough, that it's, I mean, informative enough, and it's cool enough that they're willing to watch, you know, Elite Dangerous. They're willing to watch Destiny. They don't even play FPS, but they like watching the video because it's a good listen. And that's always been sort of the aim of things. Now, speaking of Elite Dangerous is definitely going to be something that's going to be on the channel. I'm a huge fan of Elite and Star Citizen, and I'm also a big advocate of making people understand that both of these games have a right to exist, and that we should be very happy that they both exist here in the world of gaming. I mean, we haven't had space sims like this ever. I mean, Elite, the original Elite, and like Wing Commander, they were to this depth. You know, they had some pretty serious concepts, but it was never fully visualized. You know, now we have that. It's happening, and that is cool. And that is why I think, you know, if your wallet will allow you to do so, if your finances will allow you to do so, you should play both of those games. So that has been the focus with showing off Elite. And happily, 2 days after the end of the Destiny beta, there's going to be the launch for people who backed at the $75 or the £50 level to actually get their hands on the open MMO world of Elite Dangerous. So I'll be able to do things like bounty hunting and trade runs and mining, and I'm very excited about that. You guys will definitely be seeing some videos on that. We're going to be sort of following the life of my Elite Dangerous character as he moves through the universe and progresses and learns all about the good and the bad and the east and the west and the ups and the downs and the dying inside of a ship in the middle of black space. Cool stuff like that. It's going to be enjoyable. I think you guys are really going to like it. Now, there is one thing that I sort of wanted to ask everyone as a viewer, because as I said, everybody's here for different reasons. Some people are here for Star Citizen. I know most people are here for Star Citizen, but it's just not something that we can play right now. So I always have hoped that, again, you know, you'd be here and you'd check out the other content and you would actually enjoy it. And that seems to have happened. There's a lot of people who didn't know about a game that I ended up playing, or got super hooked on Arma because they saw me playing it, and that's what I like. I mean, for me, that was one of the core goals when I created the channel, was to be like, okay, I want to be critical. I don't want to be just, you know, that person who everybody just thinks is just super happy about everything. I like to be critical, and that's why I do videos, and people often disagree with them, and that's what it's all about, you know, to have a strong opinion and be able to back it up. If someone wants to disagree, then they can disagree, you know, and I'd like to see them bring their opinion to the table. More often than not, that doesn't happen. People just shout at me in the comment section below and then leave, but hey, that's fine. You know, games aren't perfect, and I think that we have to recognize and at times mark them down for the failures that they make, but at the same time, I think that we should praise extensively games that manage to avoid those failures and create an experience that is truly enjoyable, and that has always been the sort of mainstay for my channel. At the same time, of course, is helping people who maybe only had that really strong focus on one type of game in life, understanding that they should at least give other games a chance. You know, it's like food. A lot of people, especially here in the States and even in other countries, you know, you go to like France. My brother spent some time in France, and it was a really big thing there, French food. You know, they didn't eat Italian food. They don't eat Chinese food or Thai food. And I find that depressing, because for me, one of the greatest things about being a citizen in the United States, an American, is that we have this really big melting pot. You know, I can eat Thai one day, I can have Afghani the other day, I can have, you know, Korean, I can have so many ridiculous types of cuisines. I can have Greek, I can have sushi, you know, you name it, Southern style barbecue. It's pretty much all here where I live. I have a lot of really good types of food. And that's how I look at games. You know, I like trying a little bit of everything. Sometimes there's a better way to get into something. For example, you don't just go out and try sushi randomly. Usually it's good to know someone who knows where the good sushi is. Where is the best sushi? Where is the, you know, the cleanest sushi, the most well-done sushi, a sushi that is just slightly warm, not frozen. You know, where can I get that? And that's the same thing with games. You know, for something like League of Legends, for example, or Dota, you know, you wouldn't really just go into them by yourself. You could. Feel free, but you're probably going to be turned away because it's probably not going to taste as good as you thought it would have. But you go in with the right person who can tell you a little bit about the game, and you're going to have a much bigger time. And again, that has been another part of the channel, is helping people see the bright side of these games and see, you know, how to get into them, how to experience them. I think that's what made my Zeus tutorials something that I enjoy doing so much, because playing as Zeus and being able to create this really enjoyable and well-crafted, or, you know, even slightly well-crafted experience for people is a really rewarding experience. But it's also very intimidating. When you first dive into Zeus, you're just like, what? It's buttons everywhere. I don't know the key bindings. How did you put a building down? And that's what the tutorials has always been about. And I think they've done really well, and I'm happy that they have, because there's something that I take a lot of pride and joy in. I could probably make a Zeus tutorial every single day if I needed to, because there's always so many different concepts that I'm developing and ideas that I'm creating. And sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. So usually I end up testing them, and then I share with you guys later on down the road, you know, what worked and what didn't work. So really happy to see that those are doing very well. But what I wanted to ask everyone here, just a simple question. You can answer it, or you don't have to. You can, you know, just say whatever. You don't feel like talking about it, you don't want to answer it. But why are you here? What content on my channel interests you the most? Why do you go to my channel every day or every weekend and say, hey, what has Tony Mo threw up lately? You know, what games interest you the most? And perhaps how did you end up here on the channel watching those games? I would just like to hear people's thoughts on that. I think it's very, very interesting, you know? I think when I look at other YouTubers that I watch or popular shows like Mighty Car Mods or Hot Rod Garage, you know, Roadkill, very few shows that I watch on YouTube, but mostly all of them are really, like, you know, expansive shows. But I think it would be very interesting as those people to be able to ask people, you know, why are you here? You know, what brought you to this channel? What interests you the most about it? And I think it's a little bit more cut and clear with shows like that. I mean, obviously cars, those are both car shows. Yeah, you know, I like cars. But for something like this, you know, gaming is so diverse and there are so many different types of gaming experiences that we can participate in and that you can make content on. You know, it'll be interesting to hear why someone was here to watch the channel. You know, you're here for Star Citizen. You're here because you saw an Arma video. Are you here because you watched one of my terrible XCOM videos like 2 years ago and you stuck around since? Whatever that reason may be, I definitely appreciate it, and I would like to actually hear from you guys what it may be. The second part of that is, I think this goes hand in hand with that, but what content on the channel currently interests you the most? Is it the Arma tutorials? Is it Destiny even? You know, was it Grid? Is it Titanfall when that was active? You know, DayZ? What games do you enjoy watching me commentate on most? And also, what kind of commentary do you enjoy most? You know, you like the technical side of things? Do you like the more comedy based? These are more personal preference questions, and again, you don't have to ask them if you want. I know it's a mouthful, but I think it'd be very interesting to try and get this feedback. In fact, maybe somewhere down the road I'll do sort of more of a poll based thing, but I think right now I have that smaller, you know, viewer basis where I can ask you guys on a much more personal level and be able to actually sit there and read all your responses within like an hour or something like that. So if you feel like answering, let me know in the comment section below. I'd appreciate that. Again, just keep an eye out, guys. You know, these are some of the games that we're going to be seeing moving in the future. I think Elite's going to be one that's going to be very enjoyable for everybody. I think I'm going to actually throw some storytelling elements into this, something that I haven't done in a very long time, since the days of DayZ, because I actually do enjoy that. I have a pretty good mind for, you know, creating stories and things of that nature. And I think there's some things I could do with Elite that would be very, very cool. So we'll see how that goes moving into the future. Let me know if you guys have anything else you'd like to say to me or any other questions you'd like to ask me about the future of the channel, about the channel presently, in the comment section below. And I'll see you guys in the next one.